Okay, so when I began lifting, I made a bunch of mistakes that basically made all my progress nil. I feel like a lot of us can relate to this, but how do we prevent this? It's a little thing called karounditis. Karounditis is commonly characterized by being in the gym for a long time, yet have nothing to really show for it. You're still benching small weights, still not squatting very much, and you can't even curl a 30-pound dumbbell, despite the fact you've been in the gym for 3 years. In order to prevent karounditis from manifesting itself, we must notice symptoms early on so we can prevent it. Without further ado, karounditis. Okay, first sign, you don't push hard. If you want to actually make gains in the gym, you're going to need to push hard. Pushing to failure is up to debate. Although I lean towards it, again, up for debate. But it's undeniable that to push hard. If it looks like you're just throwing the weight around, you'll look a little happy while you're doing it. You're not pushing hard. Quite frankly, if you aren't even a little bit nervous before you do a set, you aren't really pushing hard. Even Sam Sulek, the guy who's the embodiment of lifting right now, says he gets quite nervous before he does sets, especially squats.
I tell you what, a hard set of squats, it's enough to make me fucking nervous.
This is pretty much just ego lifting. If your spotter is doing more work than you are you really lifting? If your spotter is basically curling your bench weight while he's spotting you, he's not helping you. He's doing the weight for you. As well as if your form completely collapses in order to get 1 or 2 more reps, that's not a PR. That's just nothing. If you don't track anything, how do you expect to even advance? How are you supposed to know what weight to lift? Because you're just mindlessly throwing your wheels around in the gym. It is the cornerstone of progressive overload, which is increasing reps, increasing weight, improving your form, etc. Which is literally how you advance and how you keep going on in a gym. Progressive overload is the cornerstone of lifting, and 2.5-pound plates are pretty much the primary example of that. Increasing the weight by a little bit so you can keep doing more. Not jumping from weight to weight, but just by little and by little. You can make a fair argument that on leg press or on deadlift it won't do much, which is fair, I guess. But with those 2 exceptions, and pretty much every other lift, 2.5 pounds makes a difference. You should be going into the gym generally knowing what you're going to do. Alright, I'm going to do bench, followed by dips, followed by overhead press, skull crushers, and to end it off, I'll do some push-ups as a finisher. Stuff like that is, again, how you advance in the gym. If you go in with no idea, throw random weights on, do random stuff, you'll make very little progress, or most of the time, none. Okay, this is going to be a bit controversial, but you focus on abs too much. If I'm being honest with you, abs don't even contribute much to your aesthetics. Only when your shirt is off, when you're at low body fat, but still. You must treat the abs like any other muscle. These 10 to 15 minute bodyweight at-home ab workouts won't actually do anything. You must treat it with exercises that can be progressively overloaded, where you can add weight, add resistance, add reps, etc. Usually in the 8 to 15 rep zone, although going slightly lower or slightly higher could have its benefits.
It's as satisfying to me as coming is.
Although the pump and hypertrophy do have some slight links, they aren't directly correlated. So it's pretty much just silly to chase the pump, because most of the time it comes at the expense of actual muscular hypertrophy and even strength. Pump should be a byproduct of your lifting, not the goal of your lifting. Most of these fat burners, testosterone boosters, or testosterone don't actually do anything. They're just a good placebo, and most of the time not even a good placebo, they're a bad placebo that won't actually do anything. They also have incredibly bad quality control issues, where what they say is in the bottle is not actually in the bottle. Even then, supplements are only going to add to your gains and strength marginally, so don't expect a huge steroid-like boost. Although the absolute beginners can get away with bad sleep, once you're about a year into lifting, you just can't. Sleep, again, is a cornerstone of lifting. And if you mess up your sleep, you're going to see absolutely no gains. You take one guy who has fairly mediocre training, and one guy who has tip-top training, and only make it where the first guy sleeps a ton, and the second guy sleeps none, the first guy is going to see far more gains. You don't need a million different exercises to see growth, especially if you're pushing hard. You can decrease your sets from like 3 to 4 sets per exercise to 1 to 2 if you push hard enough. A lot of it is about pushing hard and not actually about mindlessly spamming volume, as high volume is most of the time directly correlated with how hard you push. This one's by far going to be the most controversial, but you main gain. Main gaining is not going to really do anything. For absolute beginners, it will see some marginal growth. But once you get past, again, like a year of lifting, it won't actually do anything. You need to bulk in order to build muscle. There are, of course, the genetic elite who can afford to main gain for a bit longer, and the extreme genetic elite who can cut and still see growth. But most of the time, you need to begin lifting by bulking, especially if you're skinny or the quote-unquote skinny fat. With all this kept in mind, thank you for watching, subscribe if you want, and see you next time. See ya.